Welcome everyone to NAPW's eCoaching Networking event. eCoaching has taken the stage, not only fostering real-time networking, but also assisting our members through focused topics to move the needle professionally through live events hosted by our VIP NAPW members, who are professional coaches. We couldn't be more excited to be offering you more networking and professional development opportunities in 2017. We encourage you to carve out the time and keep coming back to our online events because of its ease and ability to network from your office while on the road and even from the comfort of your own home. You will see at the bottom left of your screen a box that explains how to create a private chat room with any attendee you wish to speak with off the group chat during the event, as it can be difficult to keep up with one or several people you've connected with, especially when the chat room moves so quickly. Since we only have 30 minutes together today, I want to get our session started by introducing you to this session's coach, Denise Hansard, who is an author, speaker, life architect, and an expert in transformation. Through her Southern style of storytelling, Denise shares how your story doesn't define you unless you choose for it to do so. She has coached hundreds of women to make six figures, find the love of their life, and get super healthy, all while having fun. She works with executives and entrepreneurs as she understands the big and small business world. She uses her passion for helping people become their best selves, however they define it, based on the sound foundation of her education, Masters in Counseling and Life Coaching certification, and 20 years of corporate experience. Good afternoon, Denise, and welcome.
Hello, thank you, Louise, and thank you, ladies, for coming on. I have a ton of information to give you. I am going to do my very best to get through all of this, answer your questions as I can, and we've got some interactiveness poll questions coming your way, so please participate because I want to know those answers. And if there are any questions that I'm not able to answer within this session, put them in the chat room. We'll make sure they get answered for you. So let's get started. So have you ever had those moments when you felt like you were speaking and talking to someone only to find out that it's frustrating because they're not hearing you? And even as a matter of fact, they may go, oh, by the way, did you say something? Have you ever had those moments? Here's your first poll question. Have you ever had that time in your career where you felt unheard or undervalued? So take a moment, say yes, no, whatever it may be for you. Okay, I'm seeing some of these answers here, and most everybody is saying yes, they have had those moments. And guys, I've had it also. There have been many times in my career, and specifically in one of where I was in the corporate world. I was sitting in a meeting with my peers who happened to be all men, and we were answering a question, trying to solve a problem. And every person came around answering that question, and my boss was going, great answer, let's look at how we can put that into place. It got to me, I spoke my voice, I said what I thought needed to be happening. No one was looking at me. I'm not really sure what happened, but they said not a word. The guy next to me came next, he said exactly what I did, and everybody was applauding him for what he said. Oh, talk about frustrating. That was that moment that I decided I needed more in the way of confidence and getting my voice heard. And so what I want to go through today is one of the processes that I help people to become very heard with their voice. And that process is really about becoming clear for yourself. So this process of clear is one of my signature processes that I want to take you through. And it really is about the 5 steps to begin to own your voice and to transform your life. So let's go. So the first step that we have is our choice. Guys, everything in our life is a choice. Every thought that we have, every action we take, every reaction we make in life is a choice. And the moment that we begin to recognize that we have choices in life is the moment that we begin to have that empowerment come upon us, that we can begin to design and define the life that we want to have from here. So everything possible that we have in our life is a choice. Now, when I'm presenting this in front of a group and it happens to be really interactive, some people might say, but Denise, I didn't make a choice to have this event happen in my life. And I'm like, you're absolutely right. You didn't make that choice to have events happen in your life. What you did make was how you would react to that event that was happening. In my office, I have a saying here that it says, it's not what happens to you, it is what you do with what happens to you that matters. And that's what we want to be able to do. Understanding that we have choices in our life, and yet it's the behaviors that we put behind those choices. So let's move to the next step, because the next step is a first choice that we all have, and that's about our language. And when I say our language, guys, what I'm talking about is the words that we use. And I'm not just talking about the outside voice that we have. I'm talking about that inside voice that can sometimes be the most critical factor in our life. We are mean girls. I just got to say it right out. It's that voice that says, oh my God, what makes you think you can do that? No one's ever going to want to listen to me. Why would anybody want what I have to give, to offer? Am I going to be good enough to make, a difference in the work that I do, in the choices that I make, in the life that I have? It's that inner voice that we have to learn to be able to quiet. And here's the way I put it with everyone. It's like our inner voice, which is up in our head here, this is our mind, the beautiful mind that we have. And it's also the center of all the stories that we have going on in our life. It's our ego mind that only has one factor in our life, and that's to keep us safe. It's those fear-based thoughts that begin to go from there, from our voice of saying not good enough, having the doubt, the worry, everything along those lines. And what we want to be able to do is discern when that voice is true for us and when it's not. Because what we really want to do is to go down into our heart and listen to the intuitive voice that we have there that says we can do this. And that's part of it, is understanding the head and the heart connection together. I know in my work with NAPW, and I've been with the organization for 4 or 5 years, I can't remember exactly, 3 of those as the vice president of the chapter, 1 as the president. And I listened to that voice of my heart to be able to give exactly what I needed to my group, to my team, to my chapter, to make it as empowering as I possibly could in each and every way of bringing that to them. So what is your inner voice saying for you? And here we've got a question for you, because there's one word in our language that we overuse. And it's a really simple word that really keeps us stuck. Not that all of these words don't keep us stuck, but which one do you think it is? Is it can't? Is it but? Is it want? What do you think it is? Take a moment to answer that question. All right, so I got the poll numbers coming in, and we're close. It's like a race with the horses at the racetrack. And I'm seeing that majority of the people that are answering this are coming up with the right answer, so I love that. And it is. It is that one little 3-letter word, I just gave it away then, of but. That word is an overused word for us that we have just put into almost every sentence that we have. We don't know how to end a sentence. You know, it is that step that we've put into place that says, but I can't. So whatever you have said before the word but negates whatever you're saying in the beginning, because you've inserted that one word. I love you, but I think we really need to talk. Oh my gosh, who is going to hear I love you and remember that when all they can focus on is she wants to have the talk? Your boss comes in, says something to this effect, and says, hey, great job on that project. But the other shoe is falling. Can you come in under budget next time? Well, you had no idea that that was one of the goals that you were supposed to do. You didn't have any idea that you would have to say, yes, I can come in under budget next time. So what if you change that one little word, become aware of how often you use it, take it out, Or, as I like to work with my clients, let's look at the baby steps that you can put into place. So instead of saying but, don't change it to however, guys, because that's just second cousin to but. We don't want to have incestuousness in there. We want to change the word in a baby step of saying, instead of but, we want to say and. I love you. And I'd like to talk. Well, for me, I'm hearing the I love you, and I'm going to go, yeah, what do you want to talk about? Feels non-threatening. Great work on that project. And next time, let's work toward having it come in under budget. Great. I can remember that I did a good job, and now I've got another goal to work toward. So it's the languaging of our words that we want to put into place. Because as we put those language into place, we then make them and make a choice of saying, I'm choosing to make my words the most energized that I possibly can. Positive ones. It's that choice that we have on how we language our words, getting the mean girl thoughts out of our head, coming into our heart, and our desires that we want within everything, and understanding that we can energize our words, which will energize ourselves. When we begin to make our words the most positive that we can, it's when we begin to shift our mindset and to really literally shift our DNA within our body at a cellular level. We begin to grow from there. So let's look at a couple of words. We said but. We want to change that to and. And catch yourself, because what's going to happen is you're all of a sudden going to say, I want to do that, but, and you're going to go, and, and go from there. But what's another way? One of the words we had up there was can't. Can't. Can't makes me feel like I just get so depleted. I am just like caving in on myself every time I say, I can't do this. It is so debilitating. So what can you change that word, can't, from to make it more empowering and more energized? Say, I choose. Instead of saying, I can't, which feels like this, you can say, I choose. I choose not to do that at this time, or I choose to take that endeavor, to go for that job, for whatever it may be. You're making a choice. You're making it very empowering for yourself, and you're coming from a different perspective. A lot of people use the words wish, want, and hope. And what I tell people with that is, great, use those words, because the universe will hear your words. The universe has no discretion and doesn't have a sense of humor. Because if you keep saying, I wish, I want, I hope, then you're going to get exactly that, a lot of wishing, wanting, and hoping with everything. And it's not one that's going to move you forward. So change the wish, want, and hope to I am. Claim exactly what you want it to be. When I first started my work, I decided that I would be an author, a published author. And it wasn't, oh, I want to have a book. I want to write a book. I want it to be published. I said, I am a published author. And now I have my book. It's published. It's out on Amazon, Suffering and Comfort. So when you want to claim your power, you're going to use I am. Some other words, you're going to ask yourself how. How is one of those words that begins to keep us confined and not allow us to look at all the possibilities. How is very small, whereas if we shift how to a more positive and empowered expression, we begin to have more ideas come through. So think about it like this. Instead of saying, well, how is that going to happen? Think about it when someone asks you that. You feel as if there is only one answer, and it's got to be the right answer, or you're out of the game. Instead, use this phrase, what's one thing that I can do? That gives you possibilities. That gives you tons of possibilities, because then you begin to brainstorm, and you can look at all the many different ways that maybe you wouldn't have thought about before when you limited yourself to just the how. So far we have choice. Everything's a choice. We have language, because our language and our outer voice and our inside voice will begin to create moments that we want. and then we make everything more energized. Because what happens from there, guys, is then we begin to take action from a very different perspective. Our behaviors become more designed and defined to get us empowered to take those steps, to begin to take a risk into something. We don't come from an aspect of, oh my God, I'm a victim in this. We come from a more empowered victor state with everything. Because what happens then is that as we begin to take those action steps from a more empowered methodology, we get different results in our life. Suddenly, we begin to have the results that we have created with our vision, with our thoughts, with our words. We begin to have that empowered confidence to know that we got this. I am this. I am doing this. I am happy. Sometimes that's just the choice that you make. And so when we have our choices, and then we language our words, the inner voice, the outer voice, and we make them the most positive that we can through our energized expressions. We take different actions to get different results. Now here's what I'm going to tell you. Most people, when they go through this process and they're just beginning, and you're not enjoying or liking the results that you have in your life, what most people will do is they'll go back and change their action steps. And yet that's not where we need to go. We need to go back and change our choices, because just changing our action steps does not change anything that is happening in our life. And so what you want to do is, if you don't like the results that you have in your life, go back, look at your choices, get curious about those. Begin to have that empowerment of your clarity with your voice to transform your life. So those are just 5 steps. And then what we want to look at as we go through this is the common behaviors that women pretty much have in our lives that keep us stuck, and men don't use these behaviors. And I want to preface this to say it's not that we want to go to the behaviors that men have, because we're very unique and we want to hold on to our femininity within us. We want to be able to see both sides and utilize both. So let's dive down into that. Okay, first, guys, our thoughts. We think too much as women. An opportunity comes up, whether it's on owning our business, getting new clients, going for that new career within the company. And what happens is we begin to overthink everything. And what happens is we think we have to know the exact way in which to do things. And so we start going down into the details because we have to be perfect with it. And every time we get down into the details, we get frozen in our action steps. We think way too much, and therefore the opportunity could pass us by. And therefore we have to be able to say, it's good the way it is, and I don't want to overthink this. Okay, so think about those times that you're thinking way too much with everything. And then, guys, we see failure. Failure for us is personal. We see that we have failed, which is another way of saying we're not good enough. It feeds into those stories of the times that people told us we were failures, and we held on to that, definitely. And now failure is one of those things that's kind of a keyword. It's a hot button to say, guess what? You got in the game. You made a shot. You took the shot. You tried. And it wasn't a failure. It was basically a way for you to learn, to get curious, to move forward. It's kind of like Thomas Edison. He didn't fail 10,000 times. He learned 10,000 ways that it wasn't going to work to create that light bulb. So we have to look at ourselves and look at the times that we're taking things way too personally and say, hey, what can I learn from this? It's not a failure. It's just one of the ways that I want to be able to move forward and learn, get curious about it. And then we've got criticism. If anyone says anything bad about us, we begin to put it inside our very being of saying, oh my gosh, where did I go wrong? We take criticism so personally and we hold on to it. Whereas what we want to be able to do is to look at it and to say, is it really a part of me, and how can I learn from this, and where can I move forward? What growth opportunities can I take from this? It's not that it's bad, it's just another way of seeing yourself and what you can do differently if you view it that way. But whatever happens, don't beat yourself up. Let it go. Move forward from a more empowered opportunity and stance for yourself. And then there's our comfort zone, guys. How often do we stay in our comfort zone? Because it's what we know. Because we get afraid to step out of that. Because when we're looking outside of our comfort zone, we're looking at the unknown. That portion to where we want to be able to control everything, to keep everything perfect, and yet the opportunity comes up and we have no idea where it's going to take our life. And I will tell you that if you're feeling stuck in your comfort zone and life is giving you those opportunities that kind of make you a little afraid, that's the time for you to take the risk, step outside of you, because it is the universe telling you it's your time to grow. So being able to step outside of your comfort zone, listening not to the fear in the head, but listening to the inner voice in your heart and saying, I really want this. I don't know how it's going to happen, and yet I'm going to take the step outside so that I can make it happen. It feels right. So we want to step outside of our comfort zone. And then there's this last one about being afraid to speak up, or worse yet, is using upspeak language. Now, what do I mean by that? There's many times when we go into a meeting and we have something that we want to say. And what tends to happen is inside our head we say it, it feels good, it feels positive, it feels empowered, and then what comes out of our mouth is this. In our head we're saying, we should go with that online marketing campaign. Feels good, we want to say that. And then out of our voice comes, I think we should go with that online marketing campaign. We end it in a question as if we're really unsure of what we're doing and what we're saying. We lack the confidence to really dive down into it and claim our voice and make that heard. Number one, we either don't say what we're thinking, or we ask it in a way that it sounds like it's a question with everything. And that's what we want to get out of. We want to hear the voice inside of our head and claim that voice and make it a statement with everything. So when we look at it, we've got the differences. Number one, women think too much. Maybe men don't think enough, but they take action. They determine that if they don't take action, they're never going to get anywhere. We need to kind of combine the two of those together, understanding that there's some things we don't want to take action on, and yet there are others that we really want to take action on. As women, we see failure as a failure. Men see it as an opportunity. It's like, yeah, I'm going for it. I'm going to step into it. So it's about letting go of what that meaning is on our words, because, guys, words don't have meanings until we put them into place in our life. So a failure is not a failure. It's an opportunity to grow. And then the criticism, we take it on as if it's our story and we want to hold on to it forever, where men just let it go and they move on. And then we take stuck in our comfort zone as women, whereas men, they're risk takers. They think it's a great thing to take a risk and to do something different. And then we use that speak up or the upspeak. And men just step into it with the greatest of confidence, even if they think, I have no clue what I'm saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. And those are the main differences. It's not like you want to go totally over to the men. However, you do want to take on some of those characteristics and still coming from the authentic you of your own heart. So when we look at this, which one of those behaviors do you exhibit the most? Is it about thinking too much? Is it about the failures and seeing failure that you have there? Is it seeing criticism and holding on to that? Or maybe it's about staying stuck in your comfort zone. Or maybe you're using the upspeak. It could be you use a little bit of all of these. And the key here is to really become aware of which one is your predominant one and begin to work on that. And a lot of you are saying that you think too much. We get way too much up in our head, which is very common for women because we want to be perfect. So what can we do to kind of get out of this, guys? Well, what we want to do is we've got to let go of any prerequisites that we have in our head of I have to be perfect before I can do, say, move forward with anything. We have to let go that perfection is not the key to movement forward. And then from there, we have to focus on the belief that we have within ourselves and know our success stories, our projects that we've done and we've completed, the expertise that we hold. And we have to starve those doubts, those mean girl voices of not being good enough. Also, we all know this, the Superwoman stance where you put your hands on your hip and you put your chest out there and just holding yourself erect. Number one, it allows you to breathe more deeply and it creates instant confidence. So if you're going into a meeting and you're a little unsure, go to the bathroom, stay in your office, close the door, whatever. Assume the Superwoman stance for about 30 seconds to a minute, and you will have more confidence than ever. That's a quick tool for you. And then, guys, don't question so much. Get out of your head. Be brave. Speak up. Say what you want to say, you know, because even if they don't see it, it could initiate a conversation. And then for everything else, you may want to get a little more training, hire a coach and mentor, something along those lines so that you can begin to go from the fear-based head that you have, that beautiful mind, down into your heart with those desires that helps you to begin to design your life with everything. So guys, here's what I know. The biggest problem in communication today is that we do not listen to understand. We listen to reply. So one of the tools that I want to give to you is listen to the other person before you begin to think about how you're going to respond. Hear everything they have to say before you get into it. And what I have for you guys is a program called Jumpstart Your Life. It's out on my website in the top right-hand corner. You can click on that. It is a 7-week video course, absolutely complimentary to you. It is my gift to you for allowing me to come and share my wisdom with you today. I love what I do. I love to empower women, people, and I want you to be that empowered, to be that superwoman. I think we all should go see the movie Wonder Woman and just claim our own power with everything. But thank you so much, Louise. I want to thank you for the time here. And everyone, ask your questions. I may not have gotten to any of them in the conversation, and I will make sure that I get those answers to you. And enjoy my gift. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise, for a wonderful session, an amazing insight on the power of our own voice, how to use it, and be heard. You'll see on your screen now a link to our next e-coaching event, which is June 20th, The Power of We, Support and Empowerment Through Mentoring with NAPW VIP member Irina Meza, an accountability and leadership strategist. Please go ahead and click the link and register now. You'll also see on your screen a link there below the registration to take a quick survey. Please take time to do that. Your feedback is so important to us. Also, please make sure to go to napw.com e-coaching group page and join our hosts and other attendees there to continue the conversation on the group activity wall. Look out for our communications for all upcoming e-events, and if you're interested in submitting to be an e-coaching host, please reach out to us at the email that you see on your screen. Thank you, Denise, and to the 250 members who attended today's amazing e-coaching session. We look forward to seeing you next time. Enjoy the rest of your day.